This is my Cascade Mountain Tech camp chair, and in this video, we'll be testing for its ease of setup and pack away, seat sizing, seat height, overall comfort, features, and more. For the setup, first undo the drawstring on the carry bag and release the cinch. Next, stand the chair upright and locate its four corners. Just grab two opposite corners, pull them away from each other, and the chair is basically all set up. When I timed myself setting it up, it took me just 12 seconds. As for the pack away, grab two opposite corners again and pull everything together. Place it on the ground and secure it back into the bag feet first. I find this to be the easiest way. Now here's another full time lapse, and my entire pack away took me about 19 seconds, including getting it back into the bag. As for the unfolded dimensions, here's what I measured. The longest width from armrest to armrest nearer the bottom of the seat, that comes in at about 21 3/4 of an inch. The longest depth from the backrest to the front of the seat comes in at about 22.5 inches. And the total height from the ground to the top of the chair comes in at also 22.5 inches. If you want more detailed seat measurements, here's everything to know, starting with the seat size. Total seat width comes in at about 19.25 of an inch. This is just a tad smaller than the marketed width of 20 inches. And the seat depth from the back to the front of the seat is 13.75 inch. It's not a very big seat, but for someone of my height and weight, it was perfectly comfortable and more than enough space with my sizing on screen for some reference. For the seat height, I first measured it from the front of the seat, and that was about 8 inches tall. Next, I took the height from the bottom of the seat without sitting on it, and that came in at about 5.5 inches. This is pretty much in line with the marketed specs of about 5 inches. But I noticed that when I sat down on the chair and I remeasured the height from the ground up to where I was sitting down, the seat height here became less than 3 inches. It was nice and low enough for me to stretch my feet out really comfortably though. For the backrest, I measured the height from where the seat ends to the top of the chair, and that came in at about 19 inches. This covers almost my entire back, but doesn't give any neck support. As for the backrest width, that came in at about 19 inches as well. Lastly, the angle of recline from the side, taken with a digital protractor, is about 21 degrees. The next test is the amount of mesh in case you need a chair that's more breathable. I measured the amount of mesh and found that across the width, there's about 10 inches of mesh. Across the entire length, there's about 24 inches of mesh. Here's the rough calculation. Feel free to ignore most of it, just take note that this chair is about 38% mesh. Next, we're going to look at the armrests. These are slanted downwards, they're also non-adjustable, and only very slightly padded with this thin layer of padding. This padding isn't super high quality though, and it will start to fray and peel after a while. As for materials, the fabric of the chair is made of polyester, no denier rating specified. As for the poles, they're made of a mix of steel and aluminum. The thinner X-shaped poles at the front measure about 0.63 inches thick, while the side poles of the armrests, they are slightly thicker, coming in at almost 0.9 inches thick. The rivets are simple and the feet are wide and stable. As for stitching, that was good all around the entire chair without any loose threads. And some additional info to take note of is that this chair has a weight capacity of 250 pounds and the warranty is only a year long. For portability, the pack size dimensions come in at about 27.5 inches in length by 7.25 inches in width by 7 inches in height. This is about the same as the marketed pack size. And here's what it looks like beside a Nalgene bottle for some size reference. For ease of carry, there's a handle at the top near the opening and also a shoulder strap on the bag. The weight of the chair itself comes in at 6.2 pounds, the carry bag weighs 0.34 pounds or 5.43 ounces, making the total weight about 6.5 pounds. This is half a pound lighter than marketed. Apart from the Cascade camp chair, I also tested a very similar chair from Elks Mountaineering. This is their Rendezvous chair. Comparing both chairs, I will give you the pros and cons of each. First, compared to the Elks Mountaineering, the Cascade Mountain Tech is more than 30% less in price. In fact, it's one of my least expensive camping chairs, and that's by far the biggest pro of this chair. When it comes to the setup of each chair, they're generally quite easy, but for the Elks Mountaineering, sometimes the back of the chair will pop out of the frame, and this takes another 10 seconds to get it back on. For the Cascade chair though, there's this shock cord at the back which prevents the chair from popping out of the frame. That's a really great plus here in terms of setup timing and attention to detail. As for the pack away timing, both chairs are quite similar, but the Cascade is very slightly faster. As for comfort, there weren't a lot of differences between the two, but the Rendezvous had a slightly bigger seat and a slightly taller seat height. In fact, I think the biggest con of the Cascade chair is that the marketed seat height of 5 inches was a little overstated, and when I sat down on it, the seat sank down by almost 3 inches. As for weight limit and warranty, the Rendezvous is slightly better with the info you need on screen. And the second and last con of the Cascade is that the warranty is very short, coming in at just 1 year. But overall, if you're looking for a comfortable camp chair that sits very low to the ground, so that you can stretch your legs out around a campfire, and your biggest concern is price, I think the Cascade is the perfect pick for you. If you're interested in checking out other camp chair options first though, I'll leave a great comparison of them on screen for you to check out. Thank you so much for watching this, and I'll see you in that one.